90% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
You sat there and watched the Big Ten Network. Now you flipped over to UPTV, Channel 6. 66 to 6, tell it like it is. Big Joe sitting in front of you. Got my athletic gray on. 'Cause, you know, after a ball game like that, you know, you got to put your shooting shirt back on, you know, come out and sit in front of the press.
It's all tucked in, too.
Like tight. Look like I just came out the bathroom. Big Joe sitting here with Big Bun. We waiting for the car salesman, Big Wayne, to come. You know, he's trading horses right now. But guess who's back? Sick and all. Stat girl.
Now, I beg your pardon, weren't we all off last week?
Week before last.
Well, yeah, it was last week. But last week, you know why we were off last week?
Yes, I'm sure you'll remind us.
Of course. It was a national holiday weekend. And actually, I'm surprised that we're here this weekend because it's another national holiday coming up. Last week we were off because it was my birthday on Monday, March 9th, national holiday. It's right next to, was it Boxers Day in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah. This Monday, Big Bun's birthday.
Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry, the 15th.
Ete Brute.
Oh, see, you finally got me. Speaking that pig language, I have no idea what you talking about over there, Goldie. So Sunday's the big day.
Yep.
And
don't get all choked up, man.
I mean,
it's just another day.
No, it's not.
No, that's my birthday. That's just another day. Nobody takes off for my birthday.
When is your birthday?
In December. Remember when I had to take off? And
Christmas?
December what?
Pearl Harbor Day.
Oh, when was that? I got
December
a D.
7th, man.
Yeah, because
Don't
I got a D in history.
Well, it's sad.
They will live in infamy.
Exactly.
Is that what they say? Pearl Harbor, December 7th. I remember it, 1941. I was 2.
I have to say, Sunday I'll be joining another class.
Uh-oh. You coming down to the valley, huh?
Yeah.
Because you done went over the hill. Bun! Big 4-0?
Yeah.
Woo!
Welcome. Keep running, though.
Don't stop.
Don't stop, because you'll never catch me. Because I've been running for
22 years.
22 years now, yeah, that's right. 22 years, and we want to thank y'all for sitting out there watching Tell It Like It Is. UPTV Channel 6. Big Ten tournament's going on right now. No real surprises. Wisconsin lost to Ohio State 4-5. You really can't call it an upset because the seeds is just, you know, a one-seed separation.
It messed up my bracket.
Because you had Wisconsin going all the way, didn't you?
I had Wisconsin playing Purdue.
In the championship game? Yeah, I remember you telling me that was your team. And the thing with Wisconsin, they just been, you know, erratic all year. They just haven't played, I think, up to the level that the
They've been
talent
playing
is.
inspired basketball.
There's that word again. Inspiration, inspired basketball. Michigan State beat Minnesota in the first game of the Big Ten tournament. And they just basically grinded them out like they've been doing everybody else. I got a feeling tomorrow Michigan State takes on Ohio State.
They'll beat them.
They'll beat them. Michigan State beat Ohio State pretty handily. You know, tournament basketball, one of the things you think about is a team with a stud player. And Ohio State's got a stud in Evan Turner. You don't think Evan Turner and the rest of the band of minions?
No, they like, he's like Pied Piper and they the followers.
That's it.
Yeah, they a year away, year or two away.
I was going to say, I agree. Ohio State's a little wet behind the ears.
I mean, you take away the Final Four team they had when they had Olden and Cook and all them guys and Conley. You know, them guys left. Then they brought in, what's my man last year? Kukakis.
Kufus.
Yeah, him too.
Kufus the doofus.
And he stayed 1 year and he's gone. So now they got another 7-footer.
DJ Mullen.
And he's going to have to stay.
Yeah.
If he leaves for the NBA, it's a trick to it.
Yeah, and I think I agree. They're a year away. They got a lot of, Buford, freshman of the year. Got some real good guys on that team, but they need a little more seasoning. If they were a meal, it ain't ready yet.
Nah,
They got to simmer a little bit
That's an
longer.
appetizer.
Right. No, is Ohio State ready? No, baby, it ain't ready yet.
No, that's chips and salsa.
Right, you're going to have to wait for that one. But in the other lower half of the bracket, as we just got to watch, Illinois took on Michigan in a 2-7 matchup. And the big story of today was yesterday Chester Frazier had surgery on his hand going into this game. A lot of people said, wow, Illinois, no Chester Frazier, Defensive Player of the Year, yada, yada, yada. Well, if you were sitting there watching the Big Ten Network before you cut us on, you saw what happened tonight. Illinois came out and played what?
Inspired basketball.
See how that works around here. We do it on cue. It's only taken us 2 years to be able to figure out how to play off each other. Illinois did play inspired basketball. Mike Davis was the tip of the spear.
He's the player of the game.
He sure was. Mike Davis had, 26?
Somewhere around there.
About 10, 12 rebounds. Looked like he's really looked all year. I've been the one beating the drum that if you feed him early and feed him often, you can ride his back, let everybody else be the role players like they are. But Mike Davis, Dimitri McCamey, and Calvin Brock played not only on the offensive end.
Is it the same Calvin worked at McDonald's?
Yeah, Calvin got a job. You hear Calvin, he's managing McDonald's. And he managed Michigan State and Manny Harris. And Illinois went on to a 60-50 victory. Bun out, jump right to you and give me your synopsis, as Dollar Bill would say, of the game.
Well, Alex Legion didn't show up like you thought he would.
No.
You've been beating on that drum. I guess that drum
Got a hole in it.
got a hole in it.
Right.
I mean, they played good. Michigan with the threes, they got to be falling for him. And today, Brock was on Manny Harris like he stole something.
Yeah.
And then nobody else stepped up. They made a whole lot of foolish mistakes, turnovers, and Illinois capitalized off of them. They went on a 15-4 run, started the second half. They got a 20-point lead, but Illinois, their bad fault is they're just like I'm gonna be a male chauvinist, just like a woman.
Uh-oh.
Can't hold nothing.
Uh-oh.
If you tell them something, they gonna have to tell somebody.
Illinois can't keep a secret, huh?
Can't keep a secret.
And what's the Illinois secret that they keep telling themselves?
I'm gonna get you up by 20,
But
and then I gotta let you go. They make it interesting.
Right.
And I mean, right now it worked for them today. Michigan, got back in the game a little bit, but they gonna catch a team. They gonna get up by 20. They gonna make one of them runs, and you ain't gonna come back.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stood out on the positives for Illinois is the defensive pressure on the perimeter. When Michigan was trying to go into that motion, what I was surprised about was the overplay that Illinois was using. You didn't see too many backdoor cuts by Michigan on the offensive end. And then the defense for Illinois got even overly aggressive at the start of the second half, like Bun pointed out. Illinois came out like a house on fire. They were 10 for 13 in the first 8 minutes of the second half. And here's the thing that, to me, shows you the contrast in when Illinois is playing good defense when they're not. In the first half, they scored 25 points in 20 minutes. Second half, they scored 23 points in 8.5 minutes. Most of those points came off of defensive pressure, turnovers, and transition.
But Illinois match up well with Michigan. I mean, it's about 4 or 5 teams Illinois match up with. I mean, Michigan, Northwestern, Indiana, Penn State. But the other teams like Purdue, Wisconsin, and Michigan State, they can't match up with because the big inside play. The biggest guy on Michigan was 6'7", 6'8", and they playing with 2 or 3. They're playing with 3 or 4 Smurfs.
Yeah.
Playing with some Johnny Dollars.
Yeah, they got some tall midgets on that team because, they got 4 guys. Oh, we got a phone call there. Caller, tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, tell it like it is.
My name's Dwight Guy, and I was wondering how you feel about Chester Frazier's injury.
I think tonight, it was really influenced the guys in terms of how they played on the court today. But going into the game tomorrow and Sunday, I think it's going to be tough. They're going to need his leadership to lead them on. And then if he can't recover, I think it's going to be real tough going into the NCAA tournament.
Wait, but I thought they already announced that he was already out for the NCAA tournament and the Big Ten tournament.
Well, Coach Weber just at the post-game press conference just talked about the fact that he may have an opportunity to come back because if you notice, Chester was dressed and went through the warm-up layup line tonight before tonight's game. I know that's a lot of show, but Coach Weber said if anybody can come back this quick, it'll be Chester.
I hope he does. And exactly what happened, do you know?
I still don't have all the information. He was doing a defensive drill, and we don't know where the contact happened, but it was a small bone in the right hand that was fractured, and he had arthroscopic surgery yesterday, and he's just wearing a brace right now just to cover it.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your time.
All right, man, appreciate you calling.
All right, take it easy.
Take care. But back to the defensive pressure I talked about earlier for Illinois. You're playing Smurfs, and I thought that was going to cause a matchup problem. You remember the first game this year when they went up to Ann Arbor. Mike Tisdale was exposed in that game because Sims would pull him away from the basket, and he couldn't come off those screens.
Illinois had the lead.
Tonight,
They had the lead at first game in Michigan.
right?
And they, let it get away.
Let it get away. So they had a better cushion tonight. But I think one of the things that I was looking at tonight that also looked well until the end was that Trent Meacham played a little better basketball tonight than he's played the last 4 or 5 games of the season. He was real aggressive with the basketball in terms of penetration and going to the hoop. The other thing that looked good for the team, Dimitri McCamey did a real good job handling the point tonight. I was really concerned with Chester going down. Could Dimitri handle the ball and handle a point for a 40-minute basketball game? Because, he has some lapses with the basketball.
Well, Michigan don't play full court press either.
Right.
This was the perfect matchup for Illinois. If Illinois gonna have an injury, this was the perfect matchup for them to play Michigan.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Out of all the teams in the conference.
If they had to turn around, if they had to play Penn State or Purdue right now, right, they'd be coming home.
Yeah. Well, they got to take on Purdue tomorrow if Purdue wins tonight against Penn State in the last game. Now, Illinois has won. They've moved forward 60-50 over Michigan. But as the last caller just asked about with Chester Frazier, what is the Chester factor? Instead of Chester Frazier, we're going to call him Chester Factor. The factor of tonight, I think his injury gave some inspiration to the team in terms of them going out there and showing that they could win without Chester. I think the other thing for him to dress out like he did and be out there on the court in uniform, go through the drills with everybody, I think gave a little extra adrenaline rush for the team when they came out tonight. And the final thing is, in the second half, I think he really talked to Calvin and Jeff about really getting that on-man ball pressure that you got to see in the first 10 minutes of the second half, because that was the difference in the game. Talk about Chester Frazier not playing tonight and how the Chester factor is going to affect them the rest of the Big Ten tournament and next week.
It'll hurt them. I mean, because you look at Penn State or Purdue, they have good guard play, and they would be exposed. Mm-hmm. You have Hummel for Purdue, and you got Tinsley or was it Pringle?
Right.
You got them for Penn State. Chester Frazier, he might, a whole lot of people talk about him, but he don't score a whole lot of points, but he can't play some defense. I'd give him that much credit. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid either. I'm just credit where credit is due.
Well, see, you don't have to have Kool-Aid to give credit where credit's due, and that's why I was going to say one of the things that you may not have saw it tonight, but it may be exposed in tomorrow afternoon's game, which is 2:30 tomorrow on CBS. When you play a team like Purdue, who really likes to get in your face, Michigan doesn't play the type of pressure man-to-man that Purdue will play tomorrow if they beat Penn State. Now,
Purdue is probably your best defensive team, and Minnesota's the second best.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. If Penn State sneaks this victory out tonight against Purdue, Illinois lost 2 games in a row this year to Penn State. Now, who was their nemesis? Taylor Battle. Even though Chester did a great job on him in terms of his shooting percentage, Taylor Battle is always the kind of guy that forces the ball to the basket and attacks the basket, as we saw in the last game of the season when he hit the last second shot, 0.3 seconds left to beat Illinois at Happy Valley. Chester Frazier, I think that additional coach on the floor type mentality is the difference in what's going to happen with Illinois, the rest of this Big Ten tournament, and what's going to happen in terms of the NCAA tournament. I believe that one of the things that's going to happen tonight, Jeff Jordan came out, played some good basketball. He was a lot more aggressive with the basketball, did a great job on the defensive end. But the coaching factor going into tomorrow's game and the rest of the week, what do you think, what does Coach Weber have to do in terms of his coaching style? Does he have to tweak anything, or can he just do like he did tonight, stick Calvin Brock in the lineup and run the same
It depends
system he's been running?
on it depends on which team they play. If they play Purdue, I would say you have to start Brock for defense purposes. If they play Penn State, you could, you could start Alex Legion or Jeff Jordan. Because, Penn State going to beat you guard play, and they quick. And you need some quick guys in there. Calvin Brock, he's quick, but I think Jordan's a little quicker than he is against Penn's the smaller guard.
I agree with you. It depends on who they play, whether it be Penn State or Purdue. The other thing that I noticed in tonight's game, if you want to go back to that for a second and talk about coaching, they started running a lot of high-low sets. They recognized Novak could not guard Mike Davis. He was too small. You know, Coach Weber usually runs that motion, and the big guys are off the blocks. But tonight, you saw Tisdale with a lot of high set, catching the ball and trying to throw it over the top to Davis. You didn't see too much of that this year. And utilizing the height of a 7'1" passer and a 6'9" guy who can catch the ball and set and shoot quick on the block, I think that was the difference in terms of getting that cushion for him. Going into tomorrow's game, now you got DeJuan Johnson, athletic big man, 6'10", 6'11". You know, Etuan Moore. You're gonna have, and Robbie Hummel. You're gonna have a lot bigger and stronger baseline playing tomorrow than you did tonight. That high-low that you got to see tonight, not gonna be as effective
Hey,
in
you got
tomorrow's game.
Decatur's own.
And Lewis Jackson playing a little pressure basketball on the point, pushing Dimitri and Jeff and the rest of the guards, Trent and all those guys away from the basket. You won't see as many Mike Davis dump downs as you saw tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Weber changes his philosophy going into the game against either Purdue, as we're talking about here, because we're assuming Purdue's going to win. But if it's Penn State, we know how strong Cornley is down low. We know how Taylor Battle is, and you mentioned
It's hard
Pringles
to beat a
shooting
team three times.
You know, so it might be a factor there. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Weber does within the next, I can't even say 24 hours, because the game's at 2:30 tomorrow. So basically right now, the only thing they can do is get the guys into the hotel, get them iced down, get some beverages, get some nutrients back into them, get them ready to go tomorrow. And then as coaching, if you're playing Purdue, it's like a mirror image. You're going to be playing yourself. And if you're playing Penn State, that's going to be more of a mental aspect of the game of, can we get over this hump? We haven't been able to beat this team in 3 opportunities, so let's see if we can get them on this 4th go-round. UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is, talking Illinois basketball, Big Ten tournament. Big Joe and Big Bun are sitting here. Big Wayne, like I said, he's out trading horses. So if you want to give us a call, hit us.
And we got Stack Girl.
328-8280. Stack Girl sitting back there, grinning and grading papers as usual. Boy, you are the best multitasker I know.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
And the
she's
other
so
thing, she's so humble.
Yeah.
Wow. We really appreciate the fact that you are so humble at what you do, and you do it so well. Anywho, back to Big Ten basketball. What's next? You're going into tomorrow's tournament. You've got in the upper bracket, we talked about earlier, Michigan State is going to take on Ohio State. And Illinois is going to take on the winner of Purdue and Penn State. What do you see happening, and how the Big Ten tournament is going to play out?
The Louisville Cardinals in the final. Oh, wrong conference.
Now, here's what I don't understand about you.
Oh, man.
You're a Kentucky boy. You love Louisville, but you're always wearing Kentucky blue.
This is a new shirt.
Oh, that's your birthday shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know when you get something for your birthday, you
You want to show it
want
off.
to show it off. I remember them days.
But, I mean,
That's what I got on my too tight.
It's medium. But I think be Michigan State, Purdue, third round. And I think Purdue will get them this time on a neutral court.
So you've got a feeling that Sunday's championship matchup is going to be Purdue and Michigan State. Mm-hmm. I think Michigan State's going to be there. If it's Illinois, Purdue, I think it'll be Purdue in the championship game. If it's Illinois, Penn State, I think Illinois will be in the championship game. Who's going to cut down the nets for the entire tournament, though?
Purdue.
You think Purdue's going to cut
Purdue is
down?
the best team in the Big Ten because, I mean, they had this stumble earlier when Hummel was hurt. Mm-hmm. He played against Illinois twice. First time he played with a bad back. Second time he didn't play at all. Mm-hmm. And he's starting to feel better. And they're a hard team to stop once they get on the roll.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on the talent level. I think Purdue's got more talent than anybody in the Big Ten. I think Michigan State is the best team right now, just the way they play.
They had the best coach.
And you're right. They got the best coach in Tom Izzo. And I think what they did to Illinois on senior day is what they're doing to everybody. They're just beating teams up.
And I think he'll lose it because they'll lose because they said he told his team if they won the tournament he'd shave his head bald.
Wow. Tom Izzo bald. That's like you with an afro. That's a scary thought, man.
Yeah.
I cannot see that. But I think Michigan State, regardless who comes out of the evening bracket, I believe Michigan State's going to win the entire tournament. The other thing I think is going to happen from this is that if Michigan State wins the tournament the way we're talking about right now, watch for Michigan State to get a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
I doubt it.
And the reason why I say that, Oklahoma and Kansas had 2 first-round losses in the Big 12 tournament and put them out. You had the #2 team in the country, Pittsburgh, lose in the first round to West Virginia in the Big East tournament. You had UConn go down in that 6 overtime thriller against Syracuse. They lost early. North Carolina struggled earlier today in the ACC tournament. We'll see what this evening holds for Duke and what they do there. But a lot of your top teams.
But ain't nobody showing Memphis no love.
Well, the reason why it's tough to give Memphis love because Conference USA is Memphis and the Pips. Memphis is Gladys Knight.
Well, they beat Tennessee. They went out and beat Gonzaga.
Okay, but let's stop
They
right
beat
there.
Gonzaga and Gonzaga.
But let's stop right there. You said
Okay.
they beat Tennessee. It's Tennessee this year, not the Tennessee from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Lofton is gone. Bruce Pearl is not doing as good a job as he did last year with that team. So that's really, and the SEC, in terms of just basketball in general,
It's down.
is down. LSU is a pretty good team in the SEC, but other than that, you really don't see too much.
That's the only team ranked.
Yeah, and the only team that should be ranked right now. Kentucky, with all the talent that Coach Gillespie has recruited down there, I think
they're a year away.
well, you can't be a year away in Kentucky.
No, because this could be he could be on a
right.
farewell tour.
For people down there in that Bluegrass State, and you know it better than anybody, the way they bleed Kentucky blue down there, you cannot continue to have double-digit loss seasons and lose those non-conference games to Siena and teams like that in Rupp Arena. That just cannot continue to happen down there.
Growing up, if you went to UK and beat them at Rupp Arena, you done something.
Right.
You was worthy of a steak dinner and a glass of Kool-Aid.
No, you were worthy of getting out of town quick. Because, you Kentucky fans, you don't take too kindly to losses.
But now, this year was Siena, last year was Gardner-Webb, and who else? LSU that beat them in, 40 years?
Right. It had been, 11 tries.
And
for
they
LSU,
beat them.
And they came in there and beat them on that home court. And like I said, you got DeAndre Liggins down there, Patrick Patterson, Jody Meeks, just to name 3 guys on that team. That's some top 5 blue chip talent down there. And for that team to continue to struggle like that, it makes you wonder. But March Madness.
That's what it's called.
That's why they call it March Madness. We talked earlier about some of the upsets that happened. We talked about the 6 overtime. If you had an opportunity last night to watch the 6 overtime thriller between UConn and Syracuse, well, we're going to go back to phone lines, 328-8280. Call and tell us your name, Tell us where you're calling from. Tell it like it is.
Is it live right now?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Turn it down. Turn it down. I heard you mentioned Kool-Aid. What's your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid?
It's not orange and blue. It's red.
Yeah. Black cherry.
There you go.
How far is Illinois going this year?
Well, we just talked about it earlier. It's really going to depend on if Chester can come back from this hand injury. They should be able to get out of the first round of the NCAA tournament, but after that, it's going to be really tough for that team to proceed any farther than that without having their leader on the floor. So if Chester can come back, they might be able to make it out of the first weekend. If Illinois can make it to the Sweet 16, based on the season that they've already had, you'd have to give them an A+ for getting that far. How far do you think they're going?
Hopefully all the way. We'll see.
Okay.
Thanks. We love you guys.
Thanks for calling UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I know Kool-Aid she can drink.
Yeah, she's got some orange and blue. I know her favorite flavor is orange and blue. She's drinking if they go all the way, but
Detroit.
if they can get there, if they can get to Sweet 16,
I'll take this bottle and hit you.
I bet you would too. You would. You are that violent that you'd hit me on TV,
With this
live
bottle.
show,
Yep.
public access, and we sitting here in the city building with the police just a stone's throw away. And Stat Girl right there,
Laughing.
She
gonna
done
laugh.
dialed 9-1. All she got to do is hit the other one.
She ain't gonna do it. She gonna laugh.
Would you laugh or would you call for help?
I'd come up and referee.
So that means she gonna laugh. Get a laugh.
So
on.
this is WWE now. So this ain't real violence. He gonna hit me with a plastic water bottle, just because I said if Illinois make it to the Sweet 16. I'm not drinking. What'd you say earlier? You give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, but I mean,
And that's what
come
I'm
on,
saying
man.
is that if they get to the Sweet 16,
Come on.
you can't get that team credit.
It'd be because everybody got beat.
Well,
It'd be one of them ups. It'd be one of them sheets. You be like, man.
Illinois played. They'd be a 5 seed. They beat the 12 seed. Then the team that the 4 seed they were supposed to play get upset.
Yeah.
And then they play the 13 seed. That might happen. And that's how they may make it to the Sweet 16. That's why we're talking about March Madness now. Like I said, last night, Syracuse, UConn. Now, I said it earlier today on the radio. It had to be one of the best games of all time.
You
I
changed that.
did not say for the third time, I did not say it was the best game ever.
Yeah.
The best game I ever saw was the Carolina-Georgetown championship game in 1982. The Louisville-Houston game that you referred to in 83, Final Four, that was one of the more exciting games because it was a lot
Down
of
in the
dunks.
pit.
Right, the guys were running back and forth, and you really didn't decide.
Oxygen, we get them oxygen masks on.
Right, because they got the thin air up there. But that game last night, have you ever seen anything in a tournament basketball game that resembled anything like that?
That's the first time, I seen a football game that went 6-7 overtime. I ain't never seen it's the first time in my life I've ever seen a basketball game go more than double overtime.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I think what was even more amazing, I know a lot of people complain about officiating when you watch sports.
They let the game, they let them play.
Thank you. That was
The refs shouldn't decide the game.
And if you think about it, at one point, Syracuse had the ball with about 9 seconds left. I think it was in the third overtime. Mm-hmm. And Paul Harris went up and got his shot blocked, not once, not twice, but thrice.
Yep.
And he ended up on the floor in front of his team's bench with Jim Boeheim almost on the court. And when the horn blew, Boeheim looked like the professor from Back to the Future, ready to pull his hair out, and the referee just turned around, put his hands up and smiled, and just shook his head. They let those guys decide that game. The other thing, if you look at the number of foul shots, both teams shot, I think, 50 foul shots. The difference in the game, Syracuse was 41 for 50. UConn only hit 27 foul shots. That was the difference in the basketball.
Wow.
So when you break it down, everybody complains about fishing, et cetera. We'll have to give kudos tonight.
Especially around here.
Right. Oh, yeah. If that would have been.
Well, I want to know why the officials in the Michigan State huddle and they went in the Illinois huddle during timeouts.
What does that have to do with anything? It makes you wonder. But Illini fans, officials can't help you win a game, but they definitely can help you lose. Because the only thing that makes a difference in basketball is turnovers, free throws, rebounds. Don't look at the final score in any stat. Just look at those three. They'll tell you who won the game probably 90, 95% of the time. Just like you as a football man. You know, if you look at time of possession, turnovers, and third down conversion.
Well, time possession it really don't mean much.
Well,
you can't get the ball
now.
You know, you can't determine that, but penalties and turnovers and third down possession, you can look and see who won.
Yeah, see, I know a little bit about. I'm a superficial football man.
But you know, he keep the ball all day long, you know, and
Not score.
not score.
Yeah. When I kick field goal,
Or miss a field goal, fumble, get
the
intercepted.
other team go down one play, score a touchdown. But yeah, like I said, the stats were way out in terms of who's going to win. But back to March Madness, as I said, last night's game, that was in the Big East. In the Big 12, the highest seed left is Missouri, a 3 seed. And that was the team that Illinois beat down at the border war easily. So these are the type of things that you start to see popping
So
out.
do you think they could beat Missouri easily now?
I'm going to make my lips to say that. No, sirree, Bob. Illinois caught Missouri. That was just like a fighter going into the ring, catching his opponent cold. No sweat, no nothing, and I throw an overhand right and knock him out instantly.
So when they
Antonio-
didn't condition for the fight.
That was Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones. That's what that was. But if Illinois and Missouri played today, different ball game. Different ball game altogether. But back to March Madness, like I said, with all these different things that are happening in these conference tournaments, how do you think it's going to affect going into Sunday when the Field of 65 is announced?
I think most of it's figured out already. They just, you know, a few little pieces they got to put in.
Yeah. Well, we'll go back to this piece. Phone line, 328-8280. Caller, tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. Tell it like it is. Caller, you there? Uh-oh. Stat girl? Your cousin hung up on you. Or did we get a phone call from a fax machine?
No, he was there.
He was there. Maybe his minutes ran out.
Or maybe
all.
they just want to hear your voice.
Right. Maybe that was the thing.
He talked to me, so
See? So that's all he wanted.
perhaps
Okay.
he'll call back.
Well, confident once again. Well, caller, if you want to call us back, 328-8280. Give us a hit, UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. Field of 65 will be set on Sunday evening after all this stuff plays out. Like I said, what do you think is going to happen because of some of these early upsets in the tournament?
I mean, these tournaments, your top 16 is probably already determined. It's just the other playing games that, you know, you might have those bubble teams. And, you know, they see how far they go in the tournament. I think Syracuse solidified themselves in the tournament again. They were out at one time. And you have teams like Butler losing. I mean, you knocking each other out, but my top 4 seeds, I think, will be Connecticut, Pittsburgh, Louisville, and North Carolina.
That'll be your top 4? So you're going to give 3 number 1 seeds to the Big East?
They've been consistent all year long.
Okay.
No matter how you look at it, if number 1, I mean, Wake Forest was up there for what, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah.
They fell off, but Pittsburgh was number 1. Louisville knocked them all. Then they turn around. Connecticut go back up there. Now North Carolina's sitting up there. I mean, they've been trying to get North Carolina up there, but they you know, keep shooting themselves in the foot. But if you look all year long, Pittsburgh, Connecticut, and Louisville, and North Carolina have been the most consistent.
I would have to agree with you on Louisville. Louisville's won, I think, 18 of their last 20. You know, they probably have played, if you want to look
They won tonight. They're in the
of
finals.
the last, I want to say, 2 to 3 months, they've probably been the most consistent team in all of college basketball. If you look at UConn, the nemesis for UConn
Guard play.
Guard play, and when Dyson went down with the knee injury, you know, A.J. Price tried to step up, but he's more of a scorer and not really a ball handler for them. Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh could play UConn every day, Pittsburgh would be the number 1 team in the nation. But once they step away from playing UConn, and whether they got to play West Virginia or somebody else in the conference, it seems like they don't play the inspired basketball they play when they play UConn. So they kind of fall off. Now, earlier I said that if Michigan State wins out the Big Ten tournament, they'll be a #1 seed. I still believe the way things are playing out this weekend, Michigan State should be a #1 seed. Now, the UConn, Pittsburgh, Louisville setup, I think one of those teams will fall out because I think Carolina will get a #1 seed. Oh, go back to the phone line.
Special
328.
caller here.
Caller, you there? Who? Hey, is this Bruce Weber?
Yeah, this is Big Wayne.
What's going on?
Give a big shout out to the Orange.
And now let me ask you real quick, Big Wayne. You got your orange and blue IV strapped on,
Yeah.
and the Kool-Aid's flowing through your veins?
No, it ain't Kool-Aid, it's wine.
Okay.
It's
Well,
good wine.
I tell you what. Give us your, as Dollar Bill loves to say, synopsis of what happened tonight.
I didn't have to get a chance to see the game, man.
No.
What? Oh, Lord. Oh.
I'm depending on you guys to let me know what happened.
Well, I can break it down to you in 3 segments. First half, it was your regular Illinois Big Ten grinded out game, 25-24 at the end of the first half. In the next 10 minutes, first 10 minutes of the second half, Illinois played basketball like they hadn't played all year and created a 20-point cushion. And then the third segment was what you've seen for the rest of the year. Illinois with a lead, suspect ball handling, trying to hold on, and eventually if they'd had a 10-point cushion, they would have lost, but the 20-point cushion helped them win the game.
So who feels Illinois chapter Frank today?
Well, Calvin Brock played probably some of the best basketball he's played his entire Illinois career. He locked Manny Harris up. Mike Davis played the Mike Davis basketball he's capable of playing when he gets the ball. I think he had 24, 26 points and about 10 or 12 rebounds. And Jeff Jordan came off the bench, handled the ball well. They just played some good basketball.
So Jeffrey, did he really treat him right? I kind of called him in my text to you yesterday, didn't I?
Huh?
I kind of called out Jeffrey for the game. So did he really play?
He played, like I said, he was sound handling the ball, and he just did a real good job. Yep. So we'll see who they play, whether they play Purdue or Penn State tomorrow, depending on how that game turns out tonight. Yeah, it'll be either Purdue or Penn State tomorrow, because that's the last quarterfinal game tonight.
Okay. Hopefully we can.
Well, yeah, because the matchup problem for Illinois without Chester and Robbie Hummel being back for Purdue, I think it'll be difficult for Illinois to beat Purdue 3 times. Just like on the flip side, it'll be difficult for Penn State to beat Illinois 3 times. So yeah, so if you had your choice, I agree, it should be Penn State, and if it is, then look for Illinois to be playing Michigan State on Sunday.
All right.
All right, big bro. Well, take care, man. Go sell another horse. All right, man. We'll holler at you. We go back to the phone lines, 328-8280. Caller, tell us your name. Tell us where you call from. Tell it like it is. Caller, you there? Go ahead, caller. Caller, you there? Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is Carl, man. What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. I just want to say, Kevin Brock, why did he start that game?
Well, you know, Coach Weber is one of those old school coaches, and I think with Calvin being a senior and the fact that, you know, when you get an injury that happened to Chester where you really don't have time to prepare a different lineup, I think he figured that's the first guy he brings off the bench anyway, so that's why he just plugged him into the lineup. My attitude.
His shot is like 180 degrees. It's just straight. Like,
Right.
no one else on that team is any, like, who would you rather see out there? Alex Legion? You want the Alex Legion out there?
I preferred Legion would have started because I think that would have injected Legion with some confidence going into the NCAA tournament. I think what Legion needs is for Coach Weber to let him go out there and play through this funk that he's been in. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. Even though Illinois got the victory, I still think Legion should have started.
Yeah, what you mean sort of fuck, man? Like, he hasn't played well all year.
No, you got to look back when the Big Ten season started. When they beat Purdue in the second game of the season, he scored 10 points over there and had some big shots late. When they played Michigan at Michigan, he had about 10 or 11 points. So in the first 3 or 4 games, he was playing good basketball. Then something happened to him, and it just kind of snowballed to the point where he's tighter than a snare drum right now.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't played in like 6 or 7 games, man. That's nothing.
So if you don't start Brock and you don't start Legion, then who do you start?
I would put Jeffrey Jordan out there every minute of every game of the year.
So you would start Jeffrey.
Yes, I would start Jeffrey Jordan, and I would like to see him shoot more. And let me ask you a question, man. Like, what's your bench press?
What's my bench press?
Yeah, what's your bench press?
About 135, 140.
135? That's pretty good.
Yeah, about 135 pounds, 140. That's all it is.
That's crazy.
Right.
Let me put that up in my sleep.
Well, that's what usually when I put it up is when I'm asleep.
I mean, both you guys are really big. I was just wondering, like, what you guys to eat?
Everything.
You heard that from Stat Girl?
What?
You hear what she said? Tell her.
Everything?
That's what she said.
That sounds about right. What's your girl's name, by the way?
That's Stat Girl. That's her first name, Stat. If you want to call be formal, she's Miss Girl.
This girl? Her name is this girl?
Miss Girl.
They see her. They just put her name on the TV. You see it?
I watch this TV. I don't have a TV.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you calling us UPTV Channel 6. Hit us next week. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament.
I love you guys.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Uh-oh.
We got Stat Girl.
He been to the beverage center.
And he can't even see me on the TV.
Well, we're going to have to get together like a telethon or something so we can get Carl a TV so he can watch Stat Girl. You know, because for him to say, what's your name?
Just
and not
on
be
the
able to
voice.
see you, just based on your voice, woo!
It's powerful.
I see why you know, that's not bragging if you do that. Pull a man over the phone just with your voice. Man, I wish I had that type of juice.
You can. Hi,
Hi,
I'm Joe Stovall.
I'm Joe Stovall. Welcome to UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is. For the next 40 minutes, nothing but oldies. Not gonna work, bro.
Mordecai.
We talked 2 callers. Big Wayne called in, talked about lineup. Carl called in, talked about the starting lineup. But the NCAA tournament Sunday, the field of 65 be announced. Me and you've talked about this on several occasions. Should they just expand the field? You know, like I've said it before. They should just do it like high school. Everybody's in and just play. Get rid of these conference tournaments. Get rid of all that.
you
Just
lose
set up different brackets. You
That
know.
sounds good, but you lose the money.
Yeah, but
Everybody about the money now.
is
we in a
about the
recession.
money.
We in a recession.
Right.
Everybody wants some money.
well, here's the thing. You say we're in a recession. Did you notice watching the game tonight? The camera never panned up in the audience.
No, because you better not pay it up, right?
There was nothing but empty seats.
Can't nobody afford $400.
No. I bet they out there, scalpers just out there just throwing tickets like confetti, giving them away. But back to the tournament. So if you excluded the money aspect, which I know you can, but in the fantasy world of sports, would you like to just see it just be a wide open tournament? Every team that's a Division I team, what you got, 119 Division I team, just play a tournament, 3 weeks and be done with it.
Sounds good.
You know, now.
So what would you do when you get down to with the Sweet 16, where you shuffle them up or you just keep playing in the bracket?
You just keep playing in the bracket. Just
Oh,
you would
no.
set up a Midwest.
I throw this ball at you again.
Now see, there you go with your violent streak. Why do I have to be Chris Brown and you be Rihanna today? You've been attacking me all day, Rihanna. Don't
you need
hurt
it.
me.
You need that.
I'll bite you like Doublemint gum, just like
Okay.
Chris Brown did. Now, but expanding it.
That's your fetish.
Yeah, that might be.
That's $100 word right there.
I was like, wow. So that's page 3 of the Kentucky Thesaurus. Fetish. Chris Brown has a fetish for biting women, especially tall, light-skinned island girls. He looked at her like a piece of dope-mint gum and said, I'll chew you.
I mean, it'd be total confusion.
Total confusion.
So all right, here's my question. All right, would you have everybody in the conference play each other out, or would you just shuffle everybody?
Well, see, there you go. Now, I'm glad you asked that question. There's 2 ways you can do this. The first way is what's happening right now. Just let your conference tournaments be like in high school, it's your regionals. So, Central, Centennial, Urbana played each other around here, and then Centennial came out of the regional. So the Big Ten tournament, whoever wins that, will come out of the Big Ten. But here's the issue. Now the tournament, that Big Ten tournament, that Big East tournament, look at the value that it has. So you could be a Michigan State, have a great regular season, go in the Big Ten tournament, lose first game, you're done. You're out.
I don't like that.
A lot of people wouldn't like that. So option 2, as you just said, you just shuffle, and based on the RPIs, use that as your ranking system. And that's how you play the tournament.
So the worst RPI will play the top RPI.
There you go. So
and you keep going down.
And you just play it on down. Just match them up that way. So let's, like you just said, you got 3 teams from the Big East who could be 1, 2, and 3. But they never would meet up until they would get to the Final Four if they're ranked 1, 2, and 3 in the nation. Phone line, 328-8280. Caller, tell us your name, tell us where you call from, tell it like it is.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I was just wondering how you guys feel about Chester Frazier being injured tonight. I mean, do you think all season we would have been better off without him?
No. You can't gauge one game in a tournament based on 3 to 4 months of body of work. What happened tonight was that the guys knew they had to step their game up because Chester wasn't there. But for them to play at that level, you already saw at the last 6 minutes of the game how they struggled handling the basketball when Michigan State started putting pressure on us. So the answer to that is we would not have been a better team this year if Chester did not play the entire season. Anything else?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks for calling UP.
I have another question.
Sure. What's your
What
question?
about if it was the other hand?
What was that? Caller, what was
What
it?
if the other hand?
I can't understand you with your laughter.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry. I have a new question.
What's your question? We're listening.
Do you guys miss Mike Clef?
Do we miss Mike Clef from what was it, Channel 3? Coach, you miss Mike Clef?
No.
Do you remember him?
Yeah, we remember him.
Do you
Coach,
miss him?
no, don't miss him.
That guy doesn't miss him.
No, we don't miss him. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mike Clef, Channel 3 sports guy.
Yeah.
I don't miss him.
She went way back.
She did. She got in a rocking chair and leaned back for that one. So you don't like the expansion of the field?
No.
So you want to keep it at 65?
I think I ought to be 32.
You think it ought to be 32, like the old days?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you just said earlier, money, and now you're going to cut it down to 30? Fight.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one, old Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah.
fight?
Yes, sir.
WWE cage match? No, you couldn't go back to 32 teams, man. Couldn't happen. The field went from 32 to 48. When did it go to 48? In 79?
I don't know. You old as dirt.
No, I'm not old as dirt. I'm 22 years old. You're the one that's 40.
You remember, I mean, they said the first live night telecast was a 1978 Duke Kentucky game.
Yeah. Now, and then 79, you had Magic and
Bird.
and that was playing on the Monday night.
80.
And then 80, UCLA got all the way to the championship, took on the Louisville Cardinals, Dr. Duncanstein, Wiley Brown,
81. Isaiah.
after Ronald Reagan
82.
got popped off, and Michael Jordan in the
83.
Once again, at 83, that was North
NC
Carolina State.
84,
That was Georgetown,
85,
Villanova,
86,
Louisville,
87.
Indiana.
Well, boy, I'm going to buy you a beverage.
Hey, you can't stump the Schwab. Come on now.
48.
88?
48.
48. Dolph Shays. The Illinois, the Whiz Kids. Dick Vitale.
I know I get you.
Right, yeah, you can get me on that one. Look, it probably wasn't no tournament back then. It's probably the NIT. Remember the NIT was the national championship before
Yes, it was.
NCAA, so I might have you on that one. We have to go Google it, as the kids would say. But we got about 10 minutes left in the show. UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. Now, we talked about expanding the tournament. Big Bun doesn't want to do that. Talked about the number one seeds. You've already given your number one seeds. I've kind of talked about that. But right now, going in, without even knowing who's going to be slotted where, we talk about number one seeds, but who really is the favorite to win the tournament? If you had to say, here's a team you need to look out for.
North Carolina.
Carolina.
Could be Louisville. According to which Louisville team show up.
Right.
But, your sleepers, I got a couple sleepers. I look at Clemson. Could be a sleeper.
Yeah. And they got put out first round in the tournament.
Villanova.
Sleeper.
And I don't know if they might make it Baylor.
Okay.
I
First of all,
doubt if they make it, though.
I was going to say Baylor's playing good basketball in the Big 12 tournament, but I can't see that extending out to the NCAA tournament. I think the two favorite teams are Louisville and North Carolina. I think Louisville, if you haven't seen Louisville has probably the best raw talent. Evan Clark. Mm-hmm. Trust me, you want to see an athletic big man, watch Louisville. Earl Clark. I said Evan. I was thinking of Evan Williams. Don't hit me in the head. Call us. Tell us your name. Tell us where you call from. Tell it like it is.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on?
Not much. I want to tell like it is real quick.
Go ahead and tell it like it is, baby.
Man, I'm just saying, I thought Trent Meacham played really well. I thought the girl who answered the phone had a really sexy voice. I want to go ahead and say that, Tisdale was, really great today, and I thought Bruce Weber looked real good out there. And, they had a real fresh suit. And I just wanted to mention that I don't really know for sure, but I think it's pretty tough to beat a team 3 times in a year.
You are correct.
I'm really saying that they want Purdue to win because, if we beat them twice, and whatever. I played high school, and you can't really beat a team 3 times 1 year, so I wouldn't mind playing Penn State, man. They can't have our number.
You're right. You're exactly right. That's what we want tomorrow. Penn State.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, man. Anything else?
Hey, yo, to the ship, man. We going to the ship.
To the ship. The man said we going to the ship. And then slammed his phone down. He slammed his Virgin mobile phone down, and all his time is gone. But we appreciate you calling UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is. About 5 minutes left in the show.
Wow.
Anybody else? Hey, did you hear what he said about Stat Girl? Because he told her like it is.
He said she got a sexy voice.
He said that girl has a sexy... That girl. Not Stat Girl. That girl.
That.
Is that what they call you? That. Hey, that girl. You working?
That girl think that she's
Carl
so
called
fine.
in. Carl called in. No TV. Just wanted to talk to you. Just knew we was on the air. Just guessed. My man called in, told it like it is. I agree with him. We want Penn State. You don't want to play Purdue. You don't beat a team 3 times. And then he said, that girl got a sexy voice.
Purdue is up 51-35 at halftime.
Well, it ain't going to happen then. It'll be Purdue tomorrow. Thanks for that scoring update, Big Bun. Now, with 5 minutes left in the show, like I said, the sleeper teams, always look for teams with good guard play. That's always, whether it's high school or college basketball, I talk about this all the time. That level of basketball is dominated by your guards. Because no matter how good your big man is, if he can't get the basketball, he's just a guy on the court. Tonight was an example when Mike Davis could get the ball, He was the best man on the court, but he was dependent on the guards to get it to him. Playing in the tournament now, we talked about the favorites, Carolina and Louisville, but look for some sleeper teams. I'm going to give you one right now. They're really not a sleeper. I say like a top 11. Washington, the Huskies. Lorenzo Lomar, coach out there, West Coast. You don't get to see them too much because they play late night. Watch for the Huskies. You know why? Isaiah Thomas.
You letting everybody know. You letting everybody know you stay up late.
That's why we got sleeper up there, because I ain't a sleeper. That's why I sit up there and watch.
Okay.
But that's a team, even though, like I said, they may get a 2 seed, depending on what happens in the Pac-10 tournament. So they ain't a true sleeper. You mentioned Clemson earlier. Clemson's fallen off a little bit in terms of the tournament. The other question, you got 8 teams in the Big Ten that possibly could make the tournament.
They won't.
You don't think all 8 of them are going to make it?
Nope.
I think if any team is going to don't get the phone call to go, I think the team that Illinois played tonight, Michigan, will be the team that doesn't make it in terms of who's going to get in there. But my other sleeper, Villanova, out of the Big East.
They just got knocked off tonight.
Yeah, but they got good guard play. And all you got to do now, it's tough to
You
win.
need guards. You need guards. A couple years ago it was Oregon, and they had good costumes.
No, they had a good quarterback. Stop. I ain't going to go back in the Wayback Machine and have to tap out like your partner did with you.
You need guard
I move
play.
for- Good guard play is what dominates high school and college basketball. And speaking of high school and college basketball, with a couple minutes left in the show, Champaign Centennial is taking on Lincoln, the Rail Splitters. We talked about it earlier. You know, do they have a shot to
I
win
think
the
they have a
entire
shot.
state?
They win this game tonight, they go into Peoria. Not as cheerleaders, as participants.
And they're going
Listen,
to win it all.
Page 4.
I see. Participants. Wow. You are working on your Slim Pickens $100 words.
Got the book.
Silver tongue working over there. I think they've got a good shot too, but tonight they're playing a team that's the number 4 ranked team in 3A. They're 29-4. They only give up 44 points a game to their opponents. They play a 1-2-2 press over in Lincoln. They've been playing that since Lincoln had a basketball program. And so because of that, I'd love to find out, you know, Centennial won. We just got word, update, the Chargers beat the Lincoln Rail Splitters tonight. Our big producer in the back held up the sign, so I think the Chargers now, by beating the Rail Splitters, they're able to go forward. Last call. We'll go ahead and get you on the air before we get on out of here. Caller, real quick. We only got about a minute left. Name, number, tell it like it is.
Hey, this is Amanda from Champaign.
Uh-huh.
You guys miss Nick Smith.
Do we miss Nick Smith?
I think we need him on this team.
We already have a Nick Smith on this team. His name's Mike Tisdale.
No, they are different. I miss Chainsaw.
No, I have to disagree with you. Anything else?
No.
No. Well, we appreciate you calling UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is. You take care, Amanda.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Boy, when somebody calls out Nick Smith, man,
They went way back in the machine.
right, I'm waiting for somebody to say Otho Tucker from the 70s or something like that.
Who?
Otho Tucker. He was one of the players on Illinois back in the 70s.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I forgot. You're only 40.
Right.
First of all, I want to say happy birthday to Big Bun. It's his birthday Sunday.
It's your birthday.
He turns the big 4-0.
I mean, you gotta tell everybody. I'll be 22.
No, he's 40. The only thing that's 22 is his hat size. But
It ain't that big.
You see Bun on the streets, wish him a happy birthday. UPTV Channel 6, tell like it is. Every Friday that we're here, Big Bun, Big Joe, the horse trader Big Wayne didn't make it. Stat Girl made it tonight. We appreciate you watching. You can catch us on WCFN, Channel 3 or Channel 49, depending on what cable system or DirecTV you have. Every other Sunday. We won't be there this Sunday, but next Sunday. Well, actually, we will be on Sunday on Illini First Look. Check us out after the news, 10:35 on Channel 3. You'll see
Centennial
us on
won
there.
by 6.
Centennial won by 6. Congratulations to the Chargers. They move on to play in Super Sectional Tuesday. Check them out. Good night.